We need to talk about the lustfulness of men in society these days because there is seriously nothing more repulsive than a man who is lustful. And if you are a cute girl, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you go in public and you see a grown man with his wife holding her hand double take you. Or the dude who very obviously has a girlfriend, maybe even a baby, and is sliding in your DMs. Or you see your crusty, dusty man under some girl's light.
Okay. So I'm quite tired of this constant shaming. I'm tired of it. So let's address it real quick. Yes, guys are definitely very lustful these days. And let's get into a few reasons why that might be. So the first reason is things are way more obvious now than they ever were. The reason for it is social media. So we see these things much more openly than we used to, and even when we used to see them in the past, it wasn't commented on as frequently. It was sort of seen as a obvious reality of what it's like being a human. Okay? And there is obvious realities to being human from the sexual perspective. Yes, there's not going to be every guy on earth that's going to do this. We are very much designed to seek women sexually. This is what we're designed to do as men. And if I'm being completely honest about it, there is not a whole lot of guys that do a really good job at controlling this when it comes to signaling. The reason they signal is because, yeah, I mean, they obviously have a pressure for this. Am I going to defend this? No, I'm not going to defend it. But if I'm going to talk about the reality, I have to admit that from a realistic perspective, this is never going to go away, ever. It is in our DNA, in our makeup. And it's not to make an excuse. I do think that guys need to do a better job of being subtle, for sure. I think guys are always going to experience it in their head. Just because you experience something in your mind doesn't mean you should go and signal it. But let's just be honest about this. There is a bit of a counterintuitive point here. Women overwhelmingly like guys that are in relationships with other women. Okay. This is where the whole notion of pre selection comes from in the first place. So the funny thing is, this girl will say this and it will be accepted from the public perspective as a fact. And on the surface, yes, it seems like this. But the weird thing is instead of blaming the guys, how about you turn around to your sisters and tell them to stop going for married guys, guys in relationships, guys that obviously signal a high abundance in that area. Why are you not looking at it from the area you can control, which is your own gender, we'll say? Why don't you shame them? Why is it always about shaming men and their lustfulness? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend it, right? I'm not going to defend it. I definitely understand it. It can come off very unattractive. I get it. But at the same time, right, I hate this notion that it's always, every single time, we're always blaming men for something that's innate to them. The same way, we're not going to shame necessarily women for bleeding once a month. It's just innate to them. Are we going to shame women for something they can choose, for example? Because you can make the argument, oh, well, a woman can't choose that she bleeds once a month. Okay, fair enough. Woman can definitely choose her posting tons of pictures online for attention, enabling this behavior. Because in reality, right, girls will post a picture and then they're going to blame men even though they're sexualizing themselves. So tell me, please tell me, how does any of this make any sense? Okay. You guys love to have your cake and eat it too. You love to do things that clearly enable this type of behavior, but then you want to pull your hands off and say that I don't take any responsibility. It's your job to control yourself. I'm not forcing you to pay money, even though I'm posting a new OnlyFans video every single day, making it as hard as possible for you to not pay me money. No, no, no. Don't worry about that. Also, don't worry about the ads I'm putting on Instagram where I'm basically naked, basically showing you all of my private parts, right? But no, 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 that's your responsibility because you're the one that's paying the money. So it's your fault. I mean, zero responsibility? Absolutely zero. It's completely the guy's fault for doing what in reality they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do this. We are designed to reproduce because only a handful of us even get the opportunity to do so. And I mean, I can link the statistics if you want. Last 8,000 years, 40% of men reproduced, 80% of women reproduced. So very clearly, we all know this. This is not a secret, okay? A very small percentage of men get to actually reproduce, right? In comparison to women. So it is what it is. And the crazy part is today, in today's time, is actually a smaller percentage because now women don't need men nearly as much anymore. So now they're going to aim even higher because now guys isn't about survival anymore. Now we can shoot for not even the 40%. Now we can shoot for the 20%, 10% even, right? So I just love it, man. I love the complete lack of reality. And it's only been what, 26 seconds into this video. Every dusty man, well, it is what it is, man. It's the clear shaming language, shaming the male gender for their innate desires. And yes, there's going to be a subsect of them. They're not going to do a very good job controlling it, of course. Just like there's a massive subsect of you guys, I'd argue much higher percentage, that just can't stop yourself but post a fully naked picture on Instagram. Daily, may I add. Daily. No shaming there, though, of course, obviously. No shame. No shame in that.
Likes every single picture. What is this? When I see a man that is lustful, it just shows that he has absolutely no depth.
A lack of abundance, maybe? Is that what you're referring to? Are you referring to those guys that have only one girl, but they really want to have more, but they don't deserve it? What are you trying to characterize here? Because it absolutely no depth. I mean, like, once again, I can make the same argument back to you. When girls are posting pictures online sexualizing themselves, does that mean they have no depth? I guarantee you'd make the argument that that's not true. I almost guarantee it.
No character, that he only cares about the outer appearance of a woman. He doesn't even take the time to really understand.
If we're going to be completely objective about this, liking a girl for how she physically looks is still liking her because, let's be honest, right? People love to pretend like somehow the spirituality transcends the body. It's like, no, the body is the host of the spirit, right? So if you as a guy like a girl for her appearance, at least you still like the girl. With you guys, I mean, you guys like what we produce. What we produce is not us. That's like an entirely separate object. Okay. So if we're going to be completely objective about it, like completely unfiltered, no, actually, we're still more genuine in the end and less shallow because at least we like you for what you have and have to offer, technically speaking. Meanwhile, you like us for what we bring externally. All right. Also, crazy eyes. Yeah. This is a telltale sign of problematic behavior, just so you guys know.
A woman, and they will tell a woman that they love her, that she's beautiful, that she's talented, that she's brilliant, that she's this and that, and they see a future with her, but they won't commit because they chronically think the grass is greener on the other side. Newsflash, dummy. You're not getting any younger, and the dating scene is not getting any easier. Decide to be with a woman and actually commit to somebody.
That's not your problem. Let's be honest, right? We could throw back the exact same arguments your way. Because in the end of the day, guys, I hate to say this, right? But commitment isn't for us. You guys get all the benefits of commitment. Truly. Like, we really, in the modern era, we really get zero benefits of commitment. So for us to commit now is purely like a novelty piece. Like, we're doing it for the sake of going through the motions because that's what we're supposed to do, right? Meanwhile, there's a lot of things that you guys are supposed to do as well that you guys just don't do, right? So what is really the motivation for us to commit then? What are we really gaining? And every time I ask this question, it's always, there's never a direct answer. What do we gain by being in a committed relationship other than your body? Like, what do we really gain? Like tangible things, not, oh, me, that's not good enough. Oh, I'll do this. Okay, with what consistency? What are you going to do? Are you going to do this once a week, twice a week? Oh, but that's not how relationships work. Really? Because last time I checked, right, you guys always ask about the paycheck per year. So clearly there's a consistency that comes with the paycheck. Okay, but what if that paycheck disappears? Are the terms being fulfilled? Because I mean, clearly you're all about terms being fulfilled, right? So I'm just curious if you're also willing to fulfill your terms. I'd be willing to imagine that probably not.
For like 6 months and see how you feel after that. Because the amount of women who are actually willing to have relationships with men is on the decline every
It's on the decline because you guys have like ridiculous, unattainable standards, as everybody on this channel has already seen from a number of you women, right? So realistically, I mean, it's on the decline because you guys are delusional. Okay. It's also on the decline because we as guys don't gain anything. You guys still want them. Guys aren't just giving them anymore. And good thing they aren't. You guys don't deserve them. You really don't.
Every single day. How embarrassing as a grown man that you cannot even follow through in your own words. You can't even make a decision for yourself. And then y'all are going to sit on the internet and talk about how women.
So much projection from this angry woman. It's insane how much she's projecting. All she's doing is forcing down feminine standards onto a man and then shaming him for not complying. I'll be honest, expect it to get worse. Okay? Expect it to get worse. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Because women like you make it so easy for us to never even consider the reality of a relationship ever again. I'm just gonna be honest. Who wants to deal with this? Definitely not me.
This, women that, da 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 da. We tried.
They didn't try. You guys have been doing less for the last 100 years. What the fuck are you trying? What do you do? What's your version of trying now? Last time I checked, I mean, what? My great grandmother, I mean, 9 children, or ever. My grandmother, 50 years of marriage. You know, I'm not gonna get into the details of it. What the fuck are you guys doing that it's trying? You guys don't even know how to sew, don't know how to cook anymore. You guys can't even clean to the same standard. I mean, I hate to be vulgar with it, but like, what do you guys really offer anymore? What do you guys offer that women of the previous generation or 2 generations ago offered? Like, what do you offer more really than that girl? A paycheck? We don't give a fuck about your paycheck. Okay, you guys don't share your paycheck. We don't care about it. We never cared. Okay, so what do you guys actually offer us? I don't understand, tangibly speaking, what we're being offered that's so special. What are you guys doing to try? As a general, of course. I mean, there's still good girls out there. Don't get me wrong here. But as a general, from what I'm seeing from the thousands of guys that I consult with, right? Unfortunately, whether you guys want to admit it or not, or believe it or not, doesn't really matter. The truth is, this is the average guy's experience. This really, really is. And even guys that are a little bit above average, they're experiencing this too. It's not like it's just average guys. It's guys across the board. So I don't know what you guys are doing to try. I don't know where this fantasy concept's coming from. But yeah, it's not a good effort. It really isn't.
We tried. Y'all didn't want it. And now you're mad at us that we're done with your. Please.
I mean, you can keep acting mad all you want. We'll be happy, and you won't, long term. Okay, and we could talk about. You guys can try to reference all the stupid studies about how old guys or whatever they're so sad with their wife. Well, that era, right? That era, guys they were trained a certain way, and women were trained a certain way. And when the woman left that guy's life, they didn't have the same skills, right? So the things that they didn't know how to do, like clean the not even clean the house, but cook and all these things. Like back in the day, guys didn't do any of these things, right? So when a woman inevitably leaves his life, yes, he's gonna feel that hole. Now, guys are learning all these things on their own. Truly. Like, I don't think I know a single guy now that doesn't really cook that often. There's a couple guys that are really coddled or whatever, but in general, guys are way more proficient in all those things that women used to do. Laundry, I don't know a single guy that doesn't do his own laundry at this point, ever. Even if he has a girlfriend or a wife, does his own laundry, does his own cooking, does his own cleaning. Like, I don't know guys anymore that don't do all these basic things anymore. So for that reason, I think you're going to find that the guys that are now depressed after not having women, even that number is going to decrease significantly because we've just absorbed all those skills that used to be provided for us. So I don't know. There's really no argument anymore. That's all I really have to say about this. If you guys like rants like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out my Patreon in the description below for content that I can't post.